Yes, friends, in this video, we will discuss with the pivot table, why we use the pivot table, subtotal, this pivot chart. There is a very, very useful functionality in the Excel. Which one functionality is day to day you will be use this functionality. So you have to create a conclusion of this functionality. First is filter, second is pivot table, and third is pivot chart. This all three functionality mainly used in the all other places. For example, you are working in the sales department, you are working in the marketing department, you are working in the particularly, for example, in the bank department, all the department. This all are the functionality is very useful from your side. So make sure that this functionality, you will be use this functionality. On the basis of this functionality, we will use the mainly pivot table, pivot chart, filter, all this functionality. You will be use this functionality. Make sure that you have to done with this functionality. So you want to use this functionality on the basis of pivot table and pivot chart functionality. Okay, friends. Then now we will discuss with our pivot table and pivot chart. Yes. What do you mean by the Excel pivot table? For example, Excel pivot table, you when you create your work at that place, Excel pivot table that is very useful from your side. When we use the Excel pivot table at that time, you have to create the many functionality. With using of Excel pivot table, you create your work. It's on the basis of Excel pivot table. This is very useful from your side. So when we use the Excel pivot table, at that moment, you want to use the Excel pivot table on the basis of particularly on the basis of this one, Excel pivot table. Yes, we have a huge number of data, large number of data at that time. Excel pivot table is very useful from your side. So make sure that you want to use the Excel pivot table on the basis of the Excel pivot table. We can do the anything with your work with a large data, large number of data. You can do with your work with the, for example, this is a when we do your big data, we work with your large data. We there are lots of damage created from your side. So at that moment, only for single moment, single click, you have to create this moment. You create a Excel pivot table. For example, here you can see that you have a lots of data is product, price, quantity sold, total, date, all this functionality. Pivot table summarize and analyze large amount of data in summarize report. This you can create this report with only for fraction of second. So make sure that this functionality is very useful from your side. When you are create this functionality at that time, you have to lots of your time. It's for example, you can do this functionality lots of your time. It's managed with your time, and lots of your time it's managed with using of this one. So lots of your time is managed. You can create only for your single click this value. So single click value for this, you have to create this value. So single create, you have to see that sum of quantity sold. You have to see that sum of quantities sold. Then January, February, March, and grand total on the basis of only single click. Only for single click, you want to do this value. Parts of pivot table: valid of data, no empty rows and columns. Check the number and dates also. It's check the number and date also. Catch value, pivot chart, drill down, report, filtering of report by using a slicer function, subtotal. Slicer is a very big functionality in the pivot table also. Excel pivot table also. Take the data from outside the source. You want to take the data if you're outside of sourcing of your data. Take the data with outside of the sourcing. Then make the data into table. Create your table and make the data table. Select the data from spreadsheet. Select this data on the spreadsheet and you want to create the table. Subtotal. You have created subtotal. Report layout, tabular, outline, compact. Format as a number, it will be converted to the number. We will also create the pivot chart, drill down. You will also create the report. Catch report is also created in this functionality. So this is a particularly Excel pivot table, which one you can easily use with this functionality on the single click. So now you have to clear about that. What is a pivot table? What functionality? What refresh code? What pivot chart? We want to create the pivot chart on the basis of pivot table. So pivot table is very useful from your side. We want to create a pivot chart, drill down report, slicer, filtering of data, select the data from the spreadsheet. We can select this data. We can select slicer this value, subtotal, report layout, tabular format. We can go for the outline format, compact format as a number. So we want to create the format as a number. Now, let's create our first pivot table. How to create our pivot table? First, open the file pivot table class. For example, our Excel file name is pivot table class, huge number of data. It's available here. Then click on Sales tab. We want to click on the Sales tab. Select all the cells, including header row. Why it is including header row? Header row, when we, in the previous video, when we create our table, at that time, row is very important part because we want to create the table. At that moment, he asked us, we create the table on the basis of this. Now we create the table. Insert pivot table. We go for the insert tab, then go for the pivot table. Click on OK command and automatically pivot table convert into your new sheet, new command with the pivot table controls. You can see here, this is a insert pivot table. This all are the data and select the data including your row. You have to select the data including with your row. This is a very useful from your side where to create including with the row. So make sure that all the data with your row is very useful from your side. Make sure that all the data with your header part is very important in Excel. Now you can see here, create the pivot table dialog box. You can see here, there is a pivot table dialog box. To address the data with select, you have to select the table range, particularly your table range. External data source, it means that your data is in different Excel sheet, Excel data. We put the new pivot table and new worksheet and click on OK. It is on an existing worksheet. Existing worksheet is mean that this one is your existing worksheet. You can see here, this is your existing worksheet. You can call as an existing worksheet, and this is called as a new worksheet. New worksheet, it means that sheet 1. If your data in sheet 1, then all other data in sheet number 2, that is called as existing new worksheet, and the same worksheet sheet number 1 to 1, this is called as existing worksheet. Now you have to put out the value on the pivot table, analyze design tab on the pivot table, column heading from the data, product, price, quantity, total, dates and month. You have to put out this value, product, price, quantity, total, date, month. Analyze this data with using of analyze functionality. Analyze which tab is only analyze. Analyze tab is always enabled when you are create the pivot table, because all the functionality pivot table, it is included in the analyze tab. So make sure that whenever the pivot table created, at that time analyze tab is created from your side. So analyze tab is very useful from your side. Make sure that you want to create first analyze tab. So on the basis of analyze tab, you want to create some data. Place folder on pivot table, column heading from data, product, price, quantity. Here is all are the column name. Column name is here. On the basis of column name, you have to put out this value on the basis of this column name. Yes, here is a design tab. Design tab also working with this pivot table. Design means what? You want to create some design on the basis of pivot table. So a design tab is more useful when we create the pivot table. This is your design tab. Designing, you have to create the any design on the basis of this one. For the ribbons pivot table, you want to create this pivot table on the basis of the design tab. Yes. Now, on the analyze tab, you want to create this. This all are the columns, this all are the rows, this all are the value. You have to total, subtraction, deletions, minus. You want to use this filtering this value. You put out this value on the filter column. So filter column, you have to put out this value column, rows, values, you want to put out this value. This is called as an analyze tab. So analyze tab is make sure that all the analyze command in the pivot table, this is useful from your side when we create the analyze tab. Yes, Excel pivot table, valid data from no empty row or column. No empty row and column. Check the number and dates also. It is a check the number and dates also. Select data from spreadsheet. All the data is selected from the spreadsheet Excel file. Make the data into table. It will create the table. Take the data from outsourcing. It's a date or take the data also from outsourcing also. So input the data in the pivot table. This is very useful. First, what is the data? Select data. Data, select the data from the spreadsheet. A, it's a table, external data not covered in the class. External data, it means that if some data in sheet number 1 and some data in sheet number 2, or some data in a different Excel, we cannot merge all the data with using of this one. This is a simple pivot table. We cannot use the Power Query, Power BI, Power Query, Power Data table. We can use the only for simple pivot table. So external data not covered in this class. External data, for example, if our Excel one first Excel file, we have some data and other data in a second Excel file. So we have a merge this data, we have a combination of data, and we can work. No, we cannot do this one. So make sure that all the data is in covered in one place, not external data. Select the data from spreadsheet. Click on upper left part of data. First, click on upper left part of data. This is click when we click here. This is hold the shift key. Click our upper left part of data. Press the shift key. Then click on lower part of data. Right? How to select the value you want and release the shift key. This is a select the data from spreadsheet. Now, create a table from this data. Why want to create the data in pivot table? First, we create the entire table with using of pivot table. By using of this one, we want to select the first the select table, then convert to this table to the convert to data this table, and this table we have want to create some name box. We want to create this, so we want to create some table name, table header. So now you can see here the table is created. On the insert tab, table option is created. When you have created pivot table, copy the data into pivot table cache. Cache is what? This is one type of cache memory is available in your computer also, but cache is available in your Excel file also. So it's a cache. Any changes of the data will not show in the report until you have to refresh the cache. Because all the data is converted into the cache data, cache memory of this data. So when we create a refresh is mean that F9 it is called as a refresh of data. So when we refresh the data at that time, you will be any changes of data report until the refresh the cache. To refresh this data, right click on pivot table and click the refresh data. Go to the option command and refresh button. Yes, you don't want to shortcut key, then option command refresh button is available. To the exercise 1A, 1B, we will create this exercise. This is you can see here the cache memory is available. So any data if you are adding, deleting on the data must be cache file is updated. So when the cache file is updated, you have to create this data. The data need to clean. How to clean this particular data on the cache? Data need to be flashed. Any blank row, blank column, text number field of any data in between of the data is a blank or data, unpredictable result. For example, reference error, any error, this all are the errors coming. Use the conditional formatting number to search the invalid data. Yes, we can use the conditional formatting. You know about the what is the conditional formatting, but conditional formatting is very useful when we are data is unpredictable. Unpredictable which means that reference error, number error, textual error. If all are the error is coming at that time, conditional formatting is very useful. For invalid number of data, for example, 0, -5, blank row, invalid number of data, home, then go for the conditional formatting. 0.5 is highlighted, this value is 0.5, light the highlighted this value. So this highlight the value. The data must have a column heading in the first row. Tabular layout, no blank row is allowed, row and column. No repeated column of data, normalize of data. Particular normalize is a one type of concept of the database. So normalize of this data is very useful from your side. Whenever the data in a pivot table, no data is blank is allowed, no row and no column, column heading in the first row, and no repeated column of the data is available. Now we will discuss with the source of data which have a no any blank value, no any repeated value, all the value is normalized data. No, the data is a blank, no one data is in minus, so we have to clear this value on the basis of this one. Discuss with why these are bad source of data in the pivot table. It's a pivot table. Here, you can see here, discuss why these are bad source of data for pivot table. Not, this is January, February, March, April, also January, February, March, April. And this one is also February, February, March, April. Second, this is a part of equipment, computer applications, commercial applications, transaction applications. These are part of the application. This is all are the model. So at that time, data is repeated time, so it will be convert to the data. Let's do the exercise of next. How to represent the pivot table, how to solve the world problem. What is the question from I asking for beginning of the pivot table, Excel pivot table. Here is a, yes, this is a how to solve the world problem. What is the question? Open the big data, review the information, and asking the question. Yes. Here is our second part. This is called as a subtotal. Subtotal is very useful as well as when we are using from pivot table also. At that time, subtotal is very useful. Subtotal and pivot table, both the functionality is same, but in some cases, you want to use the subtotal. In some cases, you will be use the pivot table. But yes, 90% cases person will be use the pivot table, not a subtotal. So you can use the subtotal. If you use the subtotal, then it's okay. But yes, pivot table is mainly used when the 90% cases we will be using the pivot table. So make sure that pivot table is very useful from your side. When we use the subtotal, at that time you will be used as a pivot table. But in the subtotal, some disadvantages is all the data in a sorting order also. In a pivot table, it automatically create the sorting order, and some functionality is not available with subtotal. So we will use the pivot table. Pivot tables tools design layout subtotal controls. You will be toggle subtotal buttons and off and on button. This is a subtotal from the option of the pivot table. This is compact form of the subtotal. This is outline form of the subtotal. This is a tabular form of the subtotal. All are the subtotal. There are two way for limiting of this data. First is filter. Second is slicer. You know about this filter and slicer because filter is filtering of data. Slicer is a particular slicing of this data. Slicing of this data is also available. Report layout tab, outline form, compact form, format as a number, subtotal. Report layout is tabular format, outline format, compact format. This is all are the format of the report. So you want to use this report on the basis of subtotal or pivot table. These all are the slicer. Yes, this is one type of filter. You don't know about the filter, but the filtering of the data. For example, we have a huge number of data and we have to find out the particular person name. Name wise, we have to find out the data. Then we have to use the filtering of data, slicer of data. Slicing of data is particularly we want to put out the slicer on the basis of slicing of the data. So we want to use the slicer. Slicer is one type of filter. We have to click on the slicer. At that time, it will be select a particular dose data which will be useful. This is called filter. Yes, now it's clear. When we create the table, at that time, filter is now in. So make sure that when we are filtering your data, at that time, when we are creating a table, at that time, filter is automatically created. So filtering of data is automatically created when we create the data into the table. So filter option. Otherwise, else what is the shortcut key of filter? Shortcut key of filter is Control Shift L. This is a useful key from your side when you are creating with a filter of this data. Make sure that when you are creating a filter of data, at that time you want to use Control Shift L. This is all are the filtering part. We have to filter top 10 data, top 5 data, largest to smallest data, smallest to largest data. At that time, filter option is very useful from your side. Top 3 data, value filter of top 3 data of value filter, and you can use this filtering of data from top 5 to top 10. Format the number. If you are format the double, when you are create the pivot table, data number knows the formatting. Formatting, if you are using this formatting, at that time you can use the sum of the total, sum this value item, sum of this total value. So you want to use the pivot table, dates, number. You want to use this date value, number value. You want to use this one with using of date and numbers. So use that formatting. Double click on the value item field. Excel generate a new sheet compact in that field. This is called as a drill down menu. Drill down menu and pivot chart menu, both the option is available from the Excel. You want to use the both of option with using of pivot chart and drill down option. You have to drilling down this value. Otherwise, else you want to use the pivot chart option menu. Both the option is available from your side. So pivot chart and drill down menu, both the option is available. Pivot chart, pivot table tools, data analysis, and the pivot chart value. Pivot table tools. then go for the data, then go for the analyze, and go for the pivot chart value. So you want to create your pivot chart. This is all are the chart. This is called as a pie chart. This is one type of called as a dashboard. Dashboards like this is a summary. This is all are the chart expense, monthly and budget report. This is all are the one type of you are created. This is particularly dashboard. You want to create the dashboard on the basis of this one. You want to create the dashboard. This is all are the designing part. You put out the any designing part on this one. Project cost, annual cost, differences, expense, income, balance. This is budget summary. You want to right click on this budget summary, click the refresh to update. Right click on refresh. You have to update the data. Budget overview, budget summary. You have to put out this data. Data input. You have to input of this data, and this is your slicer option. All option is available from yourself. You have to slice in this option. Excel pivot chart. This is a very good book. You have to recommend this pivot table. On this book, you have to use this book on this library also. More Excel classes, chart, graph, formula, function, making a budget of using example. You have to making a budget for this example. You can use this example. So now you have to clear idea about the pivot table. Pivot table has a different functionality, slicer functionality, filter functionality, chart functionality. You have to do this functionality with using of this one value, chart, function, formula, budget using of Excel, and slicer functionality. You have to put the chart particularly, you have to put the slicer data particularly on this value. You want to do this any functionality with using of slicer and pivot chart. You can do this functionality with using of pivot chart and pivot table also. You can do this budget using of Excel functionality, formulas, function, chart, graphs, all this functionality. You want to use this functionality on the basis of pivot table. Pivot table, filter, slicer, chart, all are the very useful functionality from your side. So make sure that this all are the functionality. You use this functionality on the basis of this one. You want to use this functionality on the basis of filter, pivot chart, pivot table. You can use the any of functionality on the basis of table and chart. So now you can select this value on the basis of chart and graphs, formulas and functions, budget of using Excel command. So make sure that you have to do this functionality using of pivot table and pivot chart. Pivot chart is also very graphical functionality. You can do the anything with using of pivot chart functionality. So make sure that this useful functionality you can use anywhere in the Excel with using of chart and graphs. So functions, formula, you can use any of this value on the basis of this one. So now we will discuss with particularly example. With using of example, we will create the pivot chart. If the pivot table is available, then analyze tab, design tab, subtotal, all other option is also available from your side. So make sure that all other functionality is available from your side. Thank you.